Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Anita Lee. It's good to have you with us. Coming up in this week's top stories, we join Tzu Chi volunteers in Zimbabwe at their first local volunteer training camp. Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers visit a nursing home in Kuala Lumpur to show seniors how to keep old age in check. Lastly, in celebration of the 25th anniversary of Tzu Chi's education mission, Tzu Chi senior high school students rehearse for an upcoming sutra musical performance. A volunteer training camp was held in Zimbabwe earlier in October, where 202 local volunteers from 10 regions across the country attended the 6-day camp, hoping to advance themselves and to learn more of the Dharma. The training camp took place at Tzu Chi volunteer Zhu Jintai's home, and even in spite of the simple and makeshift sleeping quarters, local volunteers saw it as an opportunity to cultivate the spirit of self-discipline, diligence, frugality, and perseverance. Today, local Zimbabwean volunteers have a chance to return to their original nature of purity and simplicity. A 6-day Tzu Chi volunteer training camp is being held for the first time in Zimbabwe. Some 200 local Zimbabweans from 10 different regions, the furthest being Zaka, came to be a part of this rare occasion. Tzu Chi volunteer Zhu Jintai mobilized his family and counterparts to transform his home into a spiritual cultivation ground. Chairs are neatly arranged inside this room, which serves as a lecture venue. By 4:30 a.m., participants are up and ready to watch the Master's morning Dharma lecture. During the seminar, participants were exposed to Tzu Chi's humanitarianism and etiquette.
Please don't talk when we are eating. These are table manners. Just eat quiet like this. Not to do this. No.
Volunteers take notes on Master Cheng Yen's teachings. Each word of wisdom is like a seed of compassion that is flourishing in their hearts. While chanting the sutra, many were moved to tears. Zhu Jintai and local volunteers endure the heat and smoke as they prepare meals for the 200 camp participants. This makeshift room is where volunteers sleep at night. Despite the tough living conditions, no one complains, as they all hope to cultivate a spirit of self-restraint, diligence, frugality, and the will to overcome hardships. In Beijing, China, after 7 months of intensive volunteer training, the volunteer training seminar organized by the Tzu Chi Ma Juqiao office finally came to an end. During the closing ceremony, Tzu Chi volunteers took a moment to encourage their new counterparts to walk steadfast on the Bodhisattva path. But first we go to Jakarta, Indonesia, where local volunteers organized a seminar at the Jingsi Books and Cafe in Kelapa Gading to recruit like-minded individuals to join their ranks.
The Jingsi Books and Cafes are not only a good place to spread Tzu Chi's values, but also to recruit new volunteers. At one store located in Kelapa Gading, Jakarta, Tzu Chi volunteers are holding a volunteer training seminar.
By organizing the seminar, we hope to help members of the public gain a clearer understanding of the Buddhist NGO. Master Cheng Yen told us that a harmonious and disaster-free world can be achieved when everyone has a pure and compassionate heart.
Listen carefully to a Tzu Chi volunteer explanation is 26-year-old Sally, who is curious about the Buddhist NGO. Since Sally used to study in China, she hopes to volunteer as a translator on behalf of the organization.
I can volunteer as a translator for the Buddhist NGO in the future because I know how to speak Chinese. I will also be able to translate Master Cheng Yen's Dharma into Indonesian so more people can absorb the Master's wisdom.
Although the event was only attended by 17 people, everyone shows great interest in learning more about the charity organization.
The participants listened to our speech carefully and asked questions. I believe the seminar helped them get a clearer picture of Tzu Chi. All of them showed great interest in joining the volunteers' ranks.
Benar-benar punya niat yang tulus untuk masuk Tzu Chi.
Sini kita diberi kesempatan untuk membantu.
I've always wanted to join a charity organization to help the less fortunate, but I never had the chance to do so. Finally, I found Tzu Chi. I want to become a Tzu Chi volunteer and help those in greater need.
Regardless of the reasons that attracted these individuals to join the volunteers' ranks, their dedication will surely bring great help to the Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter. Meanwhile, in China, more than 300 community members from the northern and northeast parts of the country are here at the Tzu Chi Maju Qiao office in Beijing. After 7 months of intensive training, community members are here to review the knowledge they have learned about the Buddhist NGO.
Sometimes we'll get stuck, but there will always be someone guiding us to the right path. When we walk steadfast on this path, we need to bravely overcome all obstacles.
The first step to become a Tzu Chi volunteer is to have a compassionate heart and the willingness to do good deeds. We'll be able to inspire others to do good deeds when we start doing good deeds ourselves first.
After listening to the stories of many Tzu Chi volunteers, the trainees are more determined than ever to shoulder Tzu Chi's missions.
Knowing the importance of instilling moral values in children at a young age, teachers of the Tzu Chi Butterworth Kindergarten in Malaysia recently accompanied their students to a center that cares for children with special needs. But first we go to Taipei, Taiwan, where participants of Tzu Chi's parent-child class brought happiness and warmth to the Sanxia Veterans Home. Let's take a look.
送给爷爷，祝福爷爷身体健康。那等一下10点，我们10点中正纪念堂有活动，那想要邀请爷爷一起去参观。
表演什么啦？
这就送给爷爷，爷爷来看了就知道啦。
Respectfully handing out invitation cards, today more than 200 participants of Tzu Chi's parent-child class and volunteers are here at the Sanxia Veterans Home in New Taipei City.
These veterans dedicated most of their lives to Taiwan. I think they long for care and respect, so we are here to let them know that there are still many who care about them.
The volunteers and children's arrival helped our residents realize that they are not alone and that many people care for them. Their hearts are now filled with warmth.
To liven up the atmosphere, students of the Tzu Chi parent-child class put on several performances. Some children even thoughtfully gave the seniors a massage.
They endured a lot of hardship when they traveled over to Taiwan. Most of them are quite lonely, so we need to care for them. I hope I can come here again in the near future.
By visiting the veterans' home, students of our parent-child class got to interact with senior residents and bring them happiness. I think the youngsters have gained a better understanding of how to interact with and respect seniors.
Sewing with extra attentiveness is 5-year-old Xie Kangxian, who accidentally damaged his classmate's shirt.
My teacher helped me take the fabric apart, and after that, I sewed them back together. I accidentally poked myself a few times while sewing the shirt.
I watched over him to make sure he does it right. I let him do all the sewing because I knew he wouldn't hurt himself. Although he poked himself several times, but it's not a big deal.
Under the guidance of his teacher, Xie gives the mended shirt back to his friend to mend their friendship. Later, kindergarteners and their teachers visit a center for children with special needs. Prior to their visit, a teacher gently reminds the youngsters to treat those in the center with love and care.
Sometimes they don't understand our questions because they suffer from mental illness. They don't have a healthy body like us.
They are mentally challenged, so we need to care for them with love.
Thanks to the visit, the kindergarteners have realized that it is a blessing to be able to give.
Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteer Ling Daofang is a traditional Chinese medicine doctor with more than 20 years of experience in massage therapy. Recently, Ling and a group of volunteers from Kuala Lumpur visited King George V Silver Jubilee Home to show seniors ways to keep fit and healthy.
She stuck a herbal patch here. She says her left shoulder often gets sore.
One of the most common types of aches affecting seniors is joint pain. A traditional Chinese medicine doctor with 20 years of experience in massage therapy, Tzu Chi volunteer Ling Daofang recently joined his counterparts on a visit to King George V Silver Jubilee Home to teach seniors how to keep old age in check.
Their skin is more delicate and tender, so when we are massaging them, we have to be gentle. They can use these massage sticks to massage themselves. For example, we can use it like this and rub our hands. We have 6 main acupressure meridians that can be found on the hands, which pass through the body. They can massage their ears as well. Stimulation of these points can reduce illness and the need for medication.
Why do our hands get numb or why do we get headaches? It is because of poor blood circulation. As the elderly are more likely to experience problems with poor circulation, we are showing them how they can improve it by keeping fit and healthy.
Huang Kaiyan also performed magic tricks to the delight of the grandmothers.
I just want to make them happy.
Volunteers not only bring warmth and care on behalf of these seniors, they're also ensuring that their health and well-being are looked after. To celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Tzu Chi Foundation's education mission in Taiwan, which falls on November 22nd, students and teachers from various Tzu Chi schools decided to put on a performance of the musical adaptation of the Sutra of Innumerable Meanings. Prior to the event, everyone used their spare time after school or weekends to rehearse. In our next report, we take a sneak peek at one of the rehearsals and meet Tzu Chi Senior High School teacher Liao Yizhen to see how being an onstage volunteer has strengthened her bond with her children.
As the 25th anniversary of Tzu Chi's educational mission is just around the corner, teachers and students are seizing every moment to rehearse for the musical adaptation of the Sutra of Innumerable Meanings.
By joining the Sutra adaptation, we are not only learning how to sign, but more importantly, to take the Dharma to heart. We had countless study sessions, which helped us understand the Sutra better before learning the movements.
In previous years, Tzu Chi schools in Taiwan would host sports day to mark the occasion. This year, however, the schools have decided to put on a musical adaptation instead. Teacher Liao Yizhen even encouraged her children to join the performance.
We get to spend more quality time with our children by encouraging them to join the musical adaptation. They won't think that mom and dad are both too busy and don't have time to play with them over the weekend. I think this is a good way for us to bond with them.
After joining the musical adaptation of the Sutra of Profound Gratitude towards Parents, I have learned to get rid of my bad habits, such as losing my temper when my mother wants me to correct my homework.
Inspired by last year's performance, Tsai Shuo-en took the initiative to join this year's musical adaptation.
After I participated in the musical adaptation of the Sutra of Innumerable Meanings, I have learned to take the Dharma to heart.
By participating in the sutra adaptation, the bond between Liao Yizhen and her family is stronger than ever. And more importantly, all of them have been inspired to take the Dharma to heart.
Because helping others is a source of happiness, many people happily take on volunteer work. Two alumni of the Tzu Chi University in Hualien, Taiwan, who majored in public health, have decided to turn volunteering into a career because of the fulfillment they've gained by contributing to a greater cause. We now introduce you to Ye Jingrong and Ling Yushan.
During the summer break of my junior year in college, I went to Sabah of East Malaysia with my classmates who majored in medicine and media. We drafted up our own plan and applied for a grant to make the trip.
Ling Yushan was only 20 years old then. When she chose to go volunteer abroad, perhaps she just wanted an unusual summer vacation, but instead, it was the beginning of a career.
This was in St. Lucia. I was there as a medical volunteer to help with the prevention of chronic diseases. I was able to apply what I had learned in school here as well.
Many of our staff members say they cannot do much during the first year of their assignment. Instead, they can only try to be open-minded and learn as much as they can about the local language and the local way of life.
Now Ling is on a humanitarian mission to help refugees living on the border between Thailand and Myanmar. Her fellow classmate Ye Jingrong also started volunteering by chance during her junior year.
The Tianjin Children's Center in China shelters autistic children. When I got there, I didn't know anybody. I thought it was a chance for me to be brave and step forward. It was a whole new journey.
She was young. By going abroad to volunteer, it strengthened her understanding of responsibility. By walking steadily one step at a time, she became even more convinced this is what she wants to do.
With the experience gained in college, Ye subsequently worked for the Eden and Genesis Foundations, which helped broaden her vision and provide personal challenges.
Whether it is raising health awareness or disease prevention, it's all about people. Compared to my classmates, I'm more considerate of other people's feelings, and also I'm more humble when it comes to interacting with others.
So the two young girls have both embarked on a path to apply their passion and training on behalf of the betterment of society.
Some people tell me that I'm so compassionate for working in social welfare sector, but for me, I simply just enjoy the human interaction.
What is interesting is how we can use the information we have and resources that are readily available to us to come up with a plan that can really help improve their livelihood and quality of life.
Having learned to give, the girls have discovered immense spiritual wealth that sustains them as they continue to share their love with the world. The Tzu Chi Batu Pahat Liaison Office in Malaysia organized 4 scholarship award ceremonies this month, helping impoverished students regardless of their race and ethnicity. One of the scholarship recipients, Satiswaran, was raised in a single-parent family, and his mother works on a chicken farm and washes dishes in order to support the family. Let's take a look at their story. One must pass through an oil palm plantation, then through a graveyard to get to Tzu Chi scholarship recipient Satiswaran's home. This shack pieced together from metal panels next to a chicken farm is where Satiswaran and his mother call home.
I take on additional odd jobs like washing dishes. People will ask me to go in the evenings. I save the tips I make to purchase food or books for my children.
8 years ago, Sukumari's husband died from drowning, leaving her to raise 4 children on her own. Walking around topless in the background, this boy, whose mother is mentally disabled, has also been taken under Sukumari's wings.
I feel very sorry for him. He doesn't have any clothes to wear. He sometimes goes for a whole week without changing his pants. He also doesn't have any shoes. I treat him like my own son.
Volunteers take time to explain the invitation for the scholarship award ceremony to Sukumari. Sukumari's 2 children come dressed in fresh and clean uniforms, ready to be a part of this special occasion.
The place where I live is very shabby. Nobody came to see us before. Instead, it was you Chinese volunteers that came to help us.
Reaching out to those in need regardless of race, the Tzu Chi Bahat Liaison Office organized 4 scholarship award ceremonies this month, helping impoverished students from 40 schools. As students walk away with everyone's blessings, volunteers hope that these youngsters will put the spirit of great love into practice in the future. For most of us who have long graduated from kindergarten, the moment is most likely long buried in our memories. But for the graduating class of Tzu Chi Butterworth Kindergarten and Tzu Chi Nibong Tebal Kindergarten in Malaysia, these memories are sure to be long-lasting, as it is filled with activities such as a passing of the light ceremony and a visit to an elementary school.
To prepare the students of Tzu Chi Butterworth Kindergarten for elementary school, teachers help them to familiarize with their new surroundings.
First of all, they will each have a table to themselves and have to bring their own stationery to school. They must learn how to care for their own items and surroundings, so we hope they can get used to doing that early on.
These young seeds have so much to learn, but back at the kindergarten, these graduates have to set an example.
I want to pass on the lamp of the heart to the 5-year-olds, because I wish they will become a well-mannered and understanding bodhisattva.
Meanwhile, at the Tzu Chi Nibong Tebal Kindergarten, there is also a graduating ceremony.
I want to pass the code of conduct to those younger than me, because they are older now and need to learn more.
The journey of learning never ends for these young seeds, but with Tzu Chi by their side, they are fully prepared to face the challenges ahead.
Over the past 25 years, Tzu Chi's education mission in Taiwan has celebrated many accomplishments. Looking back on the milestones and events that shaped the organization's educational mission, an exhibition is being held at the Tzu Chi University in Hualien, Taiwan, where posters portraying Tzu Chi's humanistic education are on display. We leave you with these images at the end of our show. Thank you for watching. See you next week.